Welcome you all here. We're glad to have you with us. This meeting is a celebratory one as we recognize our end-of-year employees award winners. We excuse Board President Paul Widdowson, Board Member Bruce Jardine. We have a full agenda tonight. We know you all have a busy schedule to deal with and have family members involved with sports productions, concerts, etc., and have other priorities. So we understand there will be people moving in and out during our board meeting. That is fine. It's our hope that your time with us this evening will be considered educational and very worthwhile. We'll start things off with a musical performance by the Mountain View Junior High School Concert Choir. The students will be performing Down by the Riverside, and the musical number will be directed by Amelia White. Following the performance, Mountain View Junior student Wyatt Cranendonk will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Mountain View Junior High School concert, take it away. Thank you again for being here.
Can I have you stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated.
Thank you, Wyatt, and thank you, Concert Choir and Amelia White, great student. Thank you, Raul. One more hand of applause for these groups. Thank you. Next, we'll move into our employee recognitions. We'd love to hear from each awardee after your presentation. Please also introduce any loved ones who are here with you to support you tonight. We'd love to have them stand and be recognized with them. Lastly, we'll get a photo with you following your recognition, and we invite you to shake the hands of the board on the way back to your seat. Thank you. And Superintendent?
Yes,
Butters.
before we, thank you, Vice President Hurst. Before we get to the awards, I would be remiss if I didn't formally acknowledge a very special individual in the audience with us tonight. We'd like to recognize the incredible generosity of Tony DeVino. I see him sitting back over there by Emily Euler. I'm going to embarrass him. I know he just loves this sort of thing, but Tony is one of our amazing Weber School Foundation board members, and I'm not sure if the employees who we recognize tonight with Weber School District sponsored awards, if they realize that every year he sponsors the dinner for all of the nominees at the Ogden Golf Country Club. He's been doing this for years, which is just an incredible, very nice event. And then he also has provided tonight, and has in the past for across many years, the cash prize that will be given to each of our award winners. And so tonight our award winners are going away with a $1,000 cash prize, and we are so very, very thankful for Tony's generosity. Tony, we would love you to join us in the photos with the employees later, if that's okay, if you could stay that long. Let's give Tony a hand. Thank you so much.
We'll begin with employees recognized at the state level by their professional organizations. Welcome Jennifer Warren, who will recognize our Utah School Nurse Administrator of the Year.
Superintendent, board, I'd like to call Marie Evans up. I'll tell you a little bit about Marie. Marie received the Utah School Nurse Administrator of the Year award from the Utah School Nurse Association, and it was a very well-deserved honor. The care coordination that Marie and her team collaborate together to provide to our kids in order to allow them to receive their medical needs, have those met, and seamlessly integrate into our school day is amazing. In addition, her collaboration with the local health department around various things, her preventative education. She's got the mindset that we can do a lot of things, that our nurses have amazing skill sets and we can utilize them within our schools. She also coordinates a lot of our district personnel training surrounding safety and health that we have needs for, both that are required by the state, but also just things that we have in place as a district to ensure that our employees are well equipped to perform their job responsibilities. And so overall, just her clinical excellency, her professional advocacy, I would be remiss if I didn't mention she actually worked through the legislative session in order to try to get our nurses recognized on the educator salary supplement this year. Unfortunately, it didn't get funded, but she's going to keep at it. So, yeah, we would just like to congratulate and recognize Marie one more time. So. We'll let you thank them and introduce some people.
Thank you to the board and Superintendent Butters. I have my husband here with me today, and my amazing father-in-law is here. My kids were all going in a million different directions, so they're not here, but I'm grateful to have them here with me, and thank you. We, with the permission of the superintendent, we also
just overall wanted to recognize our school nurses and allow Marie to say just a few words because it is School Nurse Appreciation Day today. So I'm going to turn the mic over to Marie for just a minute.
Thank you again, and thank you for letting me take a few minutes tonight just to say a little bit about our school nurses. This is the important part, that this is really why I'm here, that today, like she mentioned, is National School Nurse Appreciation Day, and we have an amazing team of nurses here in Weber School District, and I just am happy to be able to take a few minutes to recognize the work that they do. School nursing is very different from hospital nursing. I wouldn't say that it's harder, but I also wouldn't say that it's any easier. It's just different, and it requires a very different skill set. Nurses make up over 50% of the healthcare workforce in the U.S., and in a hospital, they're very front and center. They're kind of the star of the show. They're the ones that are really coordinating all of the different treatments and procedures that are happening for their patient. But in school nursing, nurses often play a little bit more of a background role or a supportive role, which is how it should be, right? The service that we're providing isn't healthcare, it's education. And yet we have students with chronic medical needs that have to be met for them to safely access that education, and that's where our school nurses come in. We sometimes call them the quiet heroes because they come to work every day and they quietly do what needs to be done to make sure that students are safe and healthy and ready to learn. And that's a really beautiful thing, but I think that sometimes an unintended consequence is that a lot of people don't really understand what a school nurse does. And a result of that can be that sometimes they're a very underutilized resource. And so that's really what I've been working to change as we've talked with the legislator and we've worked throughout the state, is we want people to know that nurses are here to support students. And this is why it's important to me. A little while ago, I had the opportunity to sit down with a stakeholder, and just to be clear, this wasn't anyone that was directly associated with our district, but it was someone in a position of power. And during our conversation, they told me that nurses are not needed in schools, they're a waste of money, and they could hire an aide to do the job just as well. And that did not sit well with me. And so it kind of lit a fire in my gut, right, to make sure we're sharing what nurses do. But as I thought about it a little bit more, I realized I couldn't be upset with them because clearly they just did not understand the role of the nurse. And that misunderstanding was partially my fault, which was the best news ever because that means I can do something to change it. And I realized that I need to speak up more and share what our nurses do to strengthen school health systems and to support better health and academic outcomes for our students, because that's really what this is all about. It's not about nurses, but it's what nurses do to support students. And I know that students are better off when they have access to a school nurse. So if I could just take a few more minutes to share just a few of the things that our nurses have been working on this year to support students in Weber School District. In our district, we have over 6,000 students that have some type of health impairment. And about 900 of those students require medical interventions during the school day so that they can be safe and ready to learn. I know that every one of us here would love to have a school nurse full-time in every building, but that's just not the reality. I think it was Byron Katie that said, when we argue with reality, we lose, but only 100% of the time. So we really have to just accept where we're at and then adapt to meet the needs in our buildings. And for nurses, that means delegating medical interventions to unlicensed personnel. I think that every leader knows that delegation is inherently more complex than just doing the task yourself, right? For nursing delegation, it means we have to have a healthcare plan in place. And so nurses work with parents and providers to develop those healthcare plans. There's a lot of training that needs to happen. The nurse has to follow up and evaluate to make sure those medical interventions are being done correctly and that the desired outcomes are being achieved. And it's important to note that registered nurses are the only licensed professional that have the qualifications and credentials to delegate care legally in schools. Our nurses also go into classrooms and teach a lot of different health lessons. They teach hand washing in the elementary schools. They teach about noise-induced hearing loss, which is important when they're walking around with those earbuds in. They teach dental health. They help with STI lessons in the 8th grade health classes. They teach CPR in high schools. And last year we started teaching Catch My Breath, which is an evidence-based vaping prevention program as part of our prevention efforts here in the district. This year we taught it in 6th and 7th grade because we know from our SHARP survey data that this is the time when we're seeing an uptick in the number of students that are experimenting with vaping. I know that a classroom teacher could certainly teach these topics, but I think that it lands a little bit differently when it comes from a trusted healthcare professional. And I know our nurses would tell you that this is their favorite part of the job. It's very rewarding to see that light bulb go on for students and to know that we are empowering them to make informed decisions about their health, and that will impact them for life. As the saying goes, students must be healthy to be educated and educated to be healthy. Health and education are inextricably linked. They can't be separated. There's been a lot of legislative updates the past few years related to school safety and emergency response. And our nurses work really hard to provide training to school staff. They train them on how to administer emergency medications. We offer CPR and first aid certification. This year, a bill was passed for schools to have a cardiac emergency response plan in place, and nurses will help with the implementation of that. I know Lane and Ryan have been working hard to meet the requirement of having stop the bleed kits and first aid kits in every classroom, and nurses are happy to help with that effort and to provide the training so that staff members know how to use all of those supplies. And all of these things make our schools even safer so that when parents send their kids out the door in the morning, they know that they're going to be in good hands in our buildings. And I'll just share one more thing that I'm really excited about. Last year, we piloted a school-based telehealth program in a partnership with Intermountain Health. This program allows students and employees to connect with a healthcare provider virtually during the school day. And it also includes a very robust list of about 35 different medications that nurses can administer to students to help keep them in school, because they don't always need to go home if we can help manage some symptoms. Last year we started with just 6 of our nurses, and we saw some really great things happening. So this year we expanded to all of the nurses so that we could take this to every building in the district. Anytime you start something new, it can take a little bit of time to get it up and running. But this year we were able to help 38 students and staff members receive medical care through telehealth. So that's 38 people that didn't have to miss work or school because they were able to get their needs taken care of here. And we were able to keep over 650 students in class with the use of our standing order medications. So I'm excited to see where this program goes in the future. I think it's just one more tool that we have in our tool belt to help with chronic absenteeism and to help keep kids in school. Those are just a few things our nurses have been doing. We're currently working on gathering data for a statewide annual school health workload report that just paints a more complete picture of nursing services that are provided in Utah schools. And I will share that report with you when it's completed. It's really exciting and fun to see all of the good things that are happening in our buildings that help students be successful. So I want to thank our district leadership, Jennifer Warren, for being so supportive of our school nurses. And on this National School Nurse Appreciation Day, I want to just give a huge thank you to our school nurses for the care that they provide to our students here in Weber School District. So thank you.
Congratulations, Marie. Thank you for all you do and for all of our school nurses. Thank you.
So our superintendent asked if we would call the nurses up to the front. They don't know this, that we would call our nurses up to the front if they're here in the audience to support, so they could get a picture with superintendent and Marie.
Next, Heather Nielsen. She will recognize our Utah Association of Elementary School Principals Administrator of the Year. That's a mouthful. Thank you.
It is. Yeah, I've been practicing that one. So Superintendent Butters, Board President Widdowson, and Board, I am so excited to have Carrie Breeding come up and join me. So every year, the Utah Association of Elementary School Principals recognizes one exceptional leader with the Utah National Distinguished Principal of the Year Award. This honor is given to a principal who exemplifies outstanding leadership and demonstrates a clear, measurable impact on student achievement. Chosen from more than 850 elementary school principals across Utah, this recipient reflects the highest standards of excellence in educational leadership. To be selected, a principal must demonstrate a strong commitment to advancing student achievement through strong, data-driven instruction. In addition, they must actively engage families in the community, cultivate a positive and inclusive school culture, and consistently model professionalism and integrity. I could spend all night talking about Carrie Breeding's strengths, but because of time limitations, I'll stick to 3. How about that? Number 1, Carrie has built a strong culture of belonging and respect where students and staff feel seen, valued, and connected. She fosters this culture by intentionally building relationships, recognizing the contributions of others, and creating a shared sense of pride throughout the school community. Number 2, Carrie has implemented data-driven systems to improve student achievement. At Hooper Elementary, ongoing assessment and progress monitoring are used to guide instructional decisions and meet individual student needs. This approach personalizes learning, closes achievement gaps, and has resulted in strong student growth, including a 20.7 increase in Acadience reading and a 17.1 increase in Acadience math. That's outstanding. Yeah, that's good. And finally, Carrie has established clear systems and expectations for PLC meetings. Teachers collaborate to review data, share effective teaching strategies, and strengthen instructional practices. As a result, Tier 1 instruction is improving in every classroom at Hooper Elementary School. As you can see, Carrie Breeding is the real deal. Please join me in congratulating Carrie Breeding, Weber School District, and Utah's Elementary School Principal of the Year.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Superintendent Butters and Board, for this time and this recognition. Honestly, I wish so badly I could have scooped up all the students at Hooper Elementary and the teachers, and they could be here tonight. They're the ones who did the real work. I may have led the way, but they're in the trenches, and they've been working hard and trying new things, and really dialing it down to each student and filling maybe some learning gaps or extensions for those kids who need it. I'm just so. The last couple of weeks, I've felt so much love and so much value, and I just appreciate all the kind words. I love being a principal, and I love my students, and I love Hooper Elementary. The community is amazing, and I'm leaving. I'm going to Freedom next year, and I'm excited for that opportunity. I'm sad to say goodbye to my Hooper Mustangs, but they keep reminding me, once a Hooper Mustang, always a Hooper Mustang. Tonight, I did bring my husband. I'm going to make him stand. This is my husband, Scott. This man has stood by my side always. We've known each other since we were very, very young. And many years ago, when I had 3 small girls and said I want to go back to school and become a teacher, he has supported me in all the things that I have wanted to pursue. I have my little grandson here, Rocky. Rocky, do you want to stand up? I have 6 grandchildren. This is my folks, Amy and Lanny, and then my daughter, Kylie, my middle daughter, is over here with my little granddaughter, June. I have 2 other daughters, Cassie Joyner. She is actually an agriculture teacher at Fremont High, and it's their FFA banquet tonight, so she couldn't be there, and my youngest daughter is there as well. So again, thank you so much. To me, the Hooper teachers, they're my heroes. Thank you.
hands are probably clean because you're head washing.
Next, we'll feature our end-of-year employee awards. Mr. Kurt Swalberg, please start things off regarding our end-of-year awards by recognizing the Weber School District First-Year Teacher of the Year for our elementary schools.
Board, Superintendent Butters, it is super exciting to be here tonight. I love this time of year to be able to celebrate some of our most outstanding employees. They work so hard, and so it is such a pleasure to be here and to recognize them for their hard work. I get the opportunity tonight to introduce to you our first year elementary teacher of the year, Kenna Pitcher. Come on up, Kenna. So last year I got to meet Kenna, and you're saying, well, last year she's a first year. Well, last year she did us a huge favor. She came in and she was a substitute in one of our kindergarten classes. And if you've ever been in a kindergarten class, you know that it's kind of like herding cats. These little kids were everywhere. And Kenna came in with such grace and such kindness and did such an amazing job. I knew we had to have Kenna. So what did I do? I offered her an early contract, and she said yes. And so we were super excited about that she said yes. And this year, coming into this year, she has come in and done and lived up to everything that we thought she would be. She has that it factor. And that it factor is that thing, it's sometimes hard to describe, but when you see it, you know it. And that's what she has. And so it's such a pleasure to see her teach and to work with students. One thing that Principal Roundtree, her principal, said, that she said a lot of amazing things about her. But to me, one of the things that stuck out and it always hits me, especially with these young people in the heart, is that she makes every student feel valued and cared for. And to me, there's nothing more important than that. If every kid can walk away from Weber School District feeling valued and cared for, we have done some great things. And that's what Miss Pitcher does at our schools. And so with that, I'd like to roll a video.
Surprise for your amazing teacher. Come on, Miss P.
All right.
Well, should we tell what's going on? Guess what's going on? Your amazing teacher is being awarded today the best elementary first-year teacher in the whole district. Oh my goodness! Is that exciting? Is that exciting? We're so excited for her.
Kenna is an amazing first-year teacher in kindergarten. She came to us from BYUI, started out last year. She filled in as a long-term sub. Turned that classroom around with classroom management, tier 1 instruction, building relationships, getting behavior under control, and then we hired her for this year. And she just did amazing. She had a huge ask to get her kids to 70% above grade level, so blue. Her class started out at 78% red, and she hit that goal. And she did that with just structure, routine, using all the tools, teaching the programs that we have that they're required to teach, doing progress monitoring, and most of all, building relationships and teaching those rules and expectations.
Can somebody raise their hand, tell me what you love about your teacher? What do you love about your teacher? Anybody want, what do you think? She's kind?
Yeah.
Yeah? What about you back there?
I love when she do office
Art. Yes.
She's a very reflective teacher. She comes and meets with the instructional coach, and when we talk about let's look for things for next year that we can improve on, she goes home for days and comes back with a list of things that she wants to talk about and improve on. So she's reflective and engaging. She's amazing.
on Friday.
She gives prizes on Friday?
Congratulations, Kenna Pitcher. I'm so excited that you received this award. No one's more deserving than you.
Awesome. Awesome.
So, Board Superintendent, I give you First Year Teacher of the Year for elementary, Kenna Pitcher.
Thank you, Superintendent Butters, and thank you, Board. I'm not here with anyone but my amazing principal. Where did she go? Oh, there she is. My family's in Montana, and my fiance is in Provo tonight. So I've loved teaching, and I'm so honored to be here tonight, so thank you.
Next, Matt Williams. He will celebrate the Weber School District First Year Teacher of the Year for our secondary schools.
Thank you. Superintendent Butters, Vice President Hurst, Board, Mr. Mitchell. It's a pleasure to be able to present this fine young man to you, but I need to continue with my thought of we got people, right? You remember me saying that when we had the Lori Brown being recognized, and Mr. Martini and Mr. Patterson. Now we got Carrie Breeding. Now we got Marie Evans. Weber School District. It's quite impressive what's happening. And these award winners at the end of the year just continues that, right? It's a pleasure to award great people. So first of all, I'd like to invite Vice Principal Ashley Blaisdell up here with me as we recognize Mr. Jacob Haywood. So Jacob, would you come up here with me too? Thanks, Jacob. I snuck in his classroom yesterday, and he didn't even know I was there. And he was playing the piano, and all the kids were going crazy and singing really quiet. And he's like, come on. And it was awesome to see him at work. But
you look that young as a student?
No, I snuck in the corner, Doug. There's no mistaking me as a student, young man. So it was just a pleasure. So we're going to watch a video here about Jacob, and then I'll read a few short comments from his principal, Mr. Scott Elliott from Orion. So.
Mr. Haywood has been chosen as Weber School District's Rookie of the Year, Teacher One of the things about Jake that is so impressive is he's been through this situation. He explained when he was in 9th grade, he found music and it really made a difference in his life. And as I look at him as he deals with students, as he works with them, you can see that that comes through and that the kids are getting that from him, that it makes a big difference. It gives them a place to be. And Jake is just an amazing teacher. He just finds a way to make every kid feel like they belong. Doesn't matter where they come from, what their background is, their ability. Every kid feels like they are seen and that they are appreciated for what they do.
Any of you be willing to share with us what kind of an impact this guy's had on you as a teacher, or what you love about the class? Or
just a great teacher, and he's so encouraging of all of us, and he helps us learn at our own pace, and he just is always there for us.
He teaches so well, and he's really inclusive and helpful to everyone in his class. He makes everyone feel welcome when they walk in.
He always has a smile on his face. It makes me want to have a smile on my face because he's always so happy.
I've had this piano class, and I was so bad at the piano, and I feel like I've learned more in this class than any of my other classes. And he's so encouraging, truly, and just a great teacher in general.
Anything you want to say? Give the floor to you.
I am so grateful to have the best job in the world because I get to work with students. I think junior high is a really unique situation. 7th graders are so different from 9th graders. And I get to work with students from all different backgrounds and different musical abilities and experiences. And I hope more than any musical education I could give you guys, I hope that you guys feel like you're seen and that you're important and that you belong.
That's why he's the first year.
So I just need to add to that. You really can't add to that. But here's what Mr. Elliott says about Jacob. He said, Jacob's passion for music is evident in everything he does. This enthusiasm not only fuels his teaching, but also inspires his students to achieve at the highest levels. Under his direction, our choirs have consistently received the highest marks in every competition, a testament to his skill and dedication. And one of Jacob's most remarkable accomplishments in his first year is he has almost doubled the numbers of students that are enrolled in choir for next year.
Wow.
So board, everybody, I present to you Mr. Jacob Haywood. Jacob.
Superintendent Butters and board, thank you so much for this recognition. This is crazy. I grew up in the Weber School District, and this really feels like a validation that I'm right where I belong. I love this district. I love my students. I was going to copy and paste what I said to my class, so now I can't copy and paste and say that the most important thing is that students feel seen. But it's true. It's the most important thing we do as educators is help students feel like they matter. So I would love if they learn a thing or two about music, but the most important thing is that every student feels like they're seen. Thank you so much. This is my family. Yes, so my dad is videoing. Hi, Dad. And Mom, you guys can stand up if you want. And then the best teacher I know, my sister, Abby Twingstrom. Stand up. And her kids, Allie and Kent, my niece and nephew. And then I have my brother, Trevor, here, and my boyfriend, Tyler. Thank you so much for being here, you guys, and supporting me. And then everybody from Orion who's here, thank you so much.
Next, Mr. Jared Abney will now recognize our Weber School District First Year Teacher Awardee for Special Education.
Superintendent Butters, Board, I'm so excited to introduce Chancey Kelly as the First Year Special Education Teacher for that award. So please come up, Chancey. A few things. We're grateful for Principal Mogulich for sharing and nominating her for this award. In her letter, there are a few things that really jumped out to me. She said that Chancey has mastered the art of motivation. She said that she has an ability to be more stubborn than her students, and she never gives up on them. And then she said she has a rare talent of combining heart, data, and high standards. As you watch this next video of Chancey, I find it particularly touching to think about junior high students that may not have found proficiency yet or confidence in reading or in language. Maybe you could say kind of the late bloomers. And I want you to, as you watch this video, because of Chancey's love and excitement around reading and language, you can see that this has become contagious for them and that they're willing to maybe put down some of the anxiety and the struggles that they've faced in learning, to read specifically and try again, maybe for the second time or the 50th time, and that they're finding joy in learning. And so if we could watch that video.
It is my honor to have been able to nominate Chancey Kelly for the First Year Special Education Teacher of the Year Award with Weber School District. Chancey has been a phenomenal addition to our teaching team here at Rocky. She has come with an enthusiasm for her students and their learning and their growth.
She just has like that energy of like reading a book. She just has like the English way of energetic.
She's really hyper. She likes to read a lot. She gets really into books because she likes a lot of books.
She gives off like this amazing vibe that you can just feel the happiness and the supportiveness when you first walk into the room.
She has a very talented way of being able to differentiate instruction based on data so that students are able to still feel rigor within their work and show meaningful growth, but also have the supports that they need to move step by step through their learning progression.
She helps me and she teaches very well and makes me understand a lot more. She always checks if we're always on task and we're doing our work good.
If we need help with a test, she lets us practice first and then take it.
Ms. Kelly has really improved my reading and writing throughout the whole year. So she helps me with like the big words. And
she's a great teammate to everyone here. She works super hard and we love her energy.
I feel like I'm also part of her family and that makes me really happy. I feel like she's more of a friend than a teacher and she just makes me really comfortable talking.
She makes me happy and go to school every day.
The class environment's very welcoming. I feel like at home. All my friends are in there and we always have like a good time.
We are very excited for Chancey. She deserves this award. She's been a fantastic addition and her energy is contagious. We are excited for many more years of her teaching expertise here in Weber School District.
I'm really happy that you got this reward and it's so amazing to be your student.
Thank you, Ms. Kelly, for always being there and making the class more fun for me and my friends, having them in there for us.
Congratulations, Ms. Kelly, for being the first Teacher Award of the Year. And I'm really happy and thank you for being an awesome teacher. And you're my favorite.
Again, we'd like to recommend Chancey Kelly for the First Year Special Education Teacher Award.
I just am so incredibly grateful for today in so many ways. I'm really grateful that Mrs. Mogulich was able to be here. As my principal, I just couldn't have asked for someone better to be my support and that person to stand behind you, along with my department heads that I've got to work with this year. It's just been absolutely amazing. I'd also like to thank my dad, Garth Kelly, that's just over here, as well as my boyfriend, Keaton. I have had just many blessings, and having people that just have stood behind me every single step of the way and encouraged me, even when sometimes people tell you not to become a teacher because it's just hard and it's miserable and you're not going to get recognized. It's amazing how many times you hear that, and especially going into special education. It wasn't necessarily where I planned on being, I will be honest about that, but it's somewhere where I wouldn't trade it for the world. So thank you, Superintendent Butters, and thank you to the rest of the board, and thank you for this opportunity.
Our final two awards are the most prestigious awards we bestow on employees each year. Mr. Clyde Moore, Assistant Superintendent, will help us celebrate the Weber School District Educational Support Professional of the Year for 2026.
Thank you. Superintendent Butters, Board. I'd like to recognize the Weber School District Educational Support Professional of the Year and invite Mrs. Martha Ross Kelly to join me, as well as our principal, Nicole Warren-Dolman. It's a privilege for me to be able to recognize, I'm gonna call her Miss Marty, because that's the way they refer to her at North Ogden Junior High. So I'm gonna be consistent with that. But I want to share a couple of comments that Principal Warren-Dolman included in her nomination letter. And she mentioned that Miss Marty's gonna retire this year after 40 years of service, and 41, okay, don't hit me, I'm sorry. 41 years of service in the Weber School District. Congratulations. In the same school, really, that's awesome. So some comments from the principal, Mrs. Warren-Dolman. She said, Ms. Marty has transitioned through many roles ranging from food services to student support and ultimately the head administrative assistant. She is in every sense the heart and soul of the institution, serving as a pillar of stability and the whole of collective history of North Ogden Junior High. Ms. Marty possesses a rare ability to balance rigorous professional standards with genuine compassion. She managed the front office with precision, ensuring our school is in compliance with all district policies. Ms. Marty consistently educates the students, parents, and faculty on the requirements and policies that keep our environment safe and functional. Ms. Marty is the first to arrive and often the last to leave, ensuring that every task is completed accurately and in a timely manner. And then lastly but not least, she said Ms. Marty enters retirement, and that will be a loss of her experience, expertise, and supportive presence will be felt by everyone who walked through the doors of North Ogden Junior High. I had an experience just yesterday, and it clicked on me why Ms. Marty is so special. When I was a principal, I always wanted, and I talked to my administrative assistants and office staff about this, how do people feel when they leave our school? I want them to feel like they was important. I want them to feel like they was heard and seen, regardless of why they was there to visit. It could have been a good thing or a bad thing, but we wanted them to walk away feeling good about the visit. I went over to North Ogden yesterday, and I had a conversation with Ms. Marty, and walking to my car, it clicked on what I was feeling. And it was exactly what I wanted to be felt in my school, in my front office when I was a principal. I felt like, even though I was just there for a short time, she heard me, she seen me, and she gave me the information I was seeking. And that's what makes her so special. So congratulations, okay? Board, I present to you our educational, professional support, our Weber School District Education Support Professional of the Year. And we also want to watch the video. There's more to come. So.
Marty Ross.
Marty!
Did I shock you? Yes.
Marty, we want to congratulate you and thank you so much for all you do for this community, for this school. There's nobody in my mind more deserving of the Classified Employee of the Year for Weber School District. Congratulations.
Marty is my school mom. She takes care of me, has always since I've been here 15 years now at North. My kids even refer to her as Grandma Marty. Wow. She has been the heart and soul of this entire faculty and staff for this entire time, and before I even got here. She's amazing.
Thank you.
Amen.
I need to say something personally because I worked with this great lady. She took care of me when I was a first-year principal here many years ago at North Ogden. And I always have felt so good about knowing she's here because of the way she does take care of people. I was standing outside and we were talking about her impact, and those are the very words I said. She took care of me. There is no greater, more noble thing than being able to say that about somebody. Thank you for all you do.
She's been here for 41 years, and she's been in many, many different roles for 41 years. And in that time, she has learned the school, she learned the culture, she's learned the community. Everybody knows her, and everybody knows her as Miss Marty, and everybody knows that they can count on her, and that she's going to take care of everybody. She's taking care of me, she takes care of the teachers, she takes care of the staff and the students, and she's just the beating heart of our school. Miss Marty, we are going to miss you so much, and congratulations on your retirement. So excited for the adventures you have to come.
Did you see this balloon? It's so applicable to you. You are ridiculously awesome.
Ms. Marty, could you introduce your family that's with you?
I'll have them stand if they would. My sweet husband, Rich. And he just retired, so we're going to be going off on our Harleys and traveling. My son, Landry, he's a sergeant at Weber County. And my daughter-in-law, Sweetheart, she is a first teacher of first grade at Lowman View. And my daughter, Brooke Young, I don't know where she went to. Is she? Oh, she's videoing. Sorry. Thanks, Brooke. She is our assistant principal at Weber High, and my grandson Dawson Young, and he will be graduating from Brigham City. So I thank you for your support, and thank you, Nicole, for your support. And I see so many faces here, and I'd like to thank you for your support and all the years of love that you've given me and shared with me and stuff. And I noticed in the video that I saw the crumble cookies, and he come in and says, "Now don't crumble." And I did, so but thank you so very much, and thank you. She's my Gina bug, but it's, so I should call you Superintendent Butters. And thank you, Board, for this honor, and I appreciate it. And thank you, Brock, for being here. And Janice, thank you for hiking the Grand Canyon with me. So thank you.
Congratulations.
Marty, I have to thank you for that hike many years ago. She and I just really had a fabulous time together, led on by the 18-year-olds.
Last but not least, Assistant Superintendent Dave Hales will recognize the Weber School District Teacher of the Year for 2026. Mr. Hales.
Vice President Hirsch, Superintendent Butters, and Board, what an awesome evening we have had. Let's capstone it with our Teacher of the Year. Can we get Marnie Favero to come on up, please? Marnie, is Mary here? Oh, she is. You better come and join us. These two have been friends for a really long time. They have history in this district and Ogden as well. I am excited. I have some things I'm going to share that are very specific and then the beautiful video, but I need to tell a couple of cute things really fast. When we went to her classroom, it was so joyful, organized, electrifyingly happy. But one little fella, his name was Bowen. Mr. Schwalberg and I walked over near him, and he looked up at us, and he could see the balloons, and he could see that all the joy and the congratulations. He tugged on Mr. Schwalberg's elbow, and he said, "Hey, mister, we've worked really hard as a class for this." And sweet Miss Favero, she said, "Yes, you have." So let's go on from there, though. Then I got the privilege of meeting with her for just a few minutes in her classroom, and she told me the cutest story that followed after we left. The children noticed that part of what she had received, besides the balloons, was mentioned just a minute ago with Martha, was that there was a box of crumble cookies. Well, the children informed the amazing Miss Favero that they would like to participate in the consumption process of those cookies, right? So the brilliant teacher of the year, who creates such a loving environment, looked at the children and instantly saw a teaching opportunity. She said, well, let's think about this for a minute. We've been learning about fractions in 3rd grade. And she said, she popped the box open. I have 4 of these. And there are 24 of you. She said, so what we'll have to do, because this amazing teacher fosters such teamwork, she says, we're going to have to come up with an equation. And if we can do it, perhaps we could participate in the consumption of these cookies. Marnie informed me that they were geniuses. They worked together, they came up with the equation, and happily, they all consumed 1/6 of a cookie each. So I do need to now, with that, thanks, amazing Miss Favero. This is heartwarming. This is touching. The comments that were written by principal, instructional coach, and counselor, I wish I could read them all. They are powerful, and they describe this brilliant teacher so well. Listen carefully. Instructional coach. Ms. Favero brings energy, enthusiasm, and purpose to every lesson. She inspires her students to be curious and persistent. Her expertise, both in content and instructional practices, ensure that lessons are not only aligned to standards, but they are delivered in ways that make learning accessible for every kid in the classroom. Counselor wrote this: Marnie possesses a rare gift for making her classroom feel like a second home. She refers to her students as family, and this is not a mere sentiment. It's their lived reality in the classroom. This sense of success is the engine behind her students' success. And now, amazing Miss Heslop. Marnie represents the perfect intersection of rigorous academic leadership and deep, unconditional heart. She doesn't just teach a curriculum, she builds legacy in the classroom. The moment you walk into Marnie's classroom, you understand her philosophy. Her walls are adorned with every class picture from her entire career. Because in her words, every family member has to have a photo on the wall. And I turned around and she pointed, and there they all were. This isn't just a sentiment, it's the foundation of her practices. By treating her students as family, she creates a safe, nurturing environment where students feel empowered to take risks and strive to be their best selves. This is powerful, dear friend. Marnie Favero is an astonishing leader who balances the warmth of a family-centered classroom, with the precision of a master educator. Marnie is a rare educator who, and I love this, old principal standing here. Marnie is a rare educator who can look at a data spreadsheet and a child's face with the same level of dedication and insight. Let's watch the video.
Birthday! What is it Miss Favero's birthday?
What is going on?
Who are these? What is that? They're serious.
Okay, guess what? I know you're all so excited. Why do you think all of these people are here today?
Hello, because of this who you Favero?
Because of this amazing lady. Can I tell you what is happening? She just won the best elementary teacher of the year in the whole district.
You guys know that I've known Miss Favero for a really long time. And I have. We started teaching together 22 years ago. Ever ago. And so it's been so fun to be able to work with her again and to see how much that she's grown.
Somebody tell me what you love most about Mrs. Favero. Right there in the back. What do you love most?
That he teaches us how to read, and she does art with us. She's my favorite teacher. She's the best teacher in the whole entire. She taught us how to read, because at the beginning of the year we were very down low, and then now we're up. She teaches me about everything I love. She is really funny. She tells the best jokes. She's the best teacher I've ever had. She's the best teacher in the whole wide universe.
Every student in her classroom is part of her family. She creates a wall of all of the pictures of all the students that she's ever taught. She refers to them as her family, and she makes those kids feel exactly like they are a family member in her classroom. Congratulations, Marnie. I am so proud of you.
Board, a final comment from her principal. She is the heartbeat of her grade level and a model for what a Teacher of the Year can be. Marnie Favero, Teacher of the Year, Weber School District.
So in kindergarten, they asked us what you want to be when you grow up, and I knew exactly what I wanted to be. A cashier at a grocery store. And then in first grade, they asked again, and I was a year older and wiser, and I had come up with the perfect plan for my adult life. I was going to be a school teacher and then work at the grocery store in the summertime. My desire to become a teacher and that dream grew throughout my life. I did not end up working in a grocery store, but I love self-checkout. I started my career teaching third grade in a Title I school on my 21st birthday. And for the past 22 years, I've had the privilege of teaching over 600 amazing students. Every one of them, like has been said, has become a part of my classroom family. They have shaped me as a person and as a teacher. Weber School District changed my life. You've given me the opportunity to continue in a career that I absolutely love and teach in a way that puts students first. I really love what I do, and I'm so thankful I get to do it here at Weber. I would like everyone here for me to stand up, please. While they're doing that, I want to thank the board, the district, the foundation, and Tony Davino for this amazing honor. Thank you to my principal. My team, the faculty and staff at Contribute, and for all the colleagues I've worked with at the 5 schools I've taught at. They've truly made me a better teacher. And most importantly, I want to thank my family. They've been there from the beginning. And I have roped every single one of them into doing a project or assignment at my class with me. I love you all. Thank you.
to see you again.
We have so many video cards.
Oh, yeah, okay. We'll now proceed with the rest of our meeting. Haven Bay Elementary Principal Justin Skeen will update us on the great things going on at his school.
All right, what a great night celebrating these awesome educators. It's been a great evening. Vice President Hurst, Superintendent Butters, Board, thank you for this opportunity to speak a little bit about Haven Bay Elementary. I know there are great things happening in our schools, and it's an honor to speak a little bit about ours. Push the right button already, that's great. As you know, 2 years ago in January, we started this journey of being appointed principal of Haven Bay Elementary. And what a privilege this has been that you've given me. First thing that we did at the starting point of that process was starting to look at staffing and getting a staff together that's going to lead us where we want to go. In looking at that process, there's a couple of things that came to mind. There's two educational researchers that I follow closely, and they've been around a long time, and they're experts in their field, Robert Marzano and John Hattie. And some of the work that they teach along the way is that teacher effectiveness is one of the greatest impacts of student achievement in our classrooms. And along those same lines, they talk about collective teacher efficacy. And that's the belief that we can all have a positive influence and impact on student learning. Thinking of that, as we look at that process, it comes down to a collective commitment amongst ourselves so that all of our staff in our building must be intentional in our work with students through collective commitments. It's that important. We got to lay the foundation and set the tone for student success in our building by the work that we do as the adults in the building. With that in mind, there are 4 collective commitments in our school that we started with. I mentioned the hiring process because we started from day one with some expectations of what we wanted to do as adults in the building. These 4 commitments started as a letter that went out. It's evolved. My guiding coalition helped with this, with the help of AI as well, in putting this graphic together and these 4 commitments in these 4 areas. What I'd like to do today to share with you tonight is these 4 areas and what we're doing right now in our school to make these a reality in building the capacity of our staff in our school and ultimately helping meet our goals of that all students can learn at high levels. They're in no particular order, but the first one I'll talk about is all teachers and staff are part of a high-functioning collaborative team. The second is we're going to build a culture that all of our students are our students. The third is effectively using our data to drive the instruction and student learning in our school. And last but certainly not least, what holds it all together is establishing a positive and supportive school culture for all. We want a school that people walk out of glad their students go there, and one where our staff feels proud of the work that they're doing in our school and feeling supported. I'm going to talk about each one of these. The first one I want to talk about today is being part of a high-functioning collaborative team. I know this is work we're doing district-wide, and this is one that's the vehicle for the work that we do. Each week our teams meet collaboratively. They meet in their PLC meetings 2 hours a week. Our meetings are guided, they're directed at and focused in on what we want to accomplish with students. They're student-driven and focused. We're working hard on quality unit planning where teachers are walking out of those meetings with common intentions of what they want to do with students, common goals and learning outcomes, looking at data, digging into what is it that students are lacking, and how can we support them? One example I want to share with you is I was in a 5th grade collaborative team meeting, and I watched them talk about summarizing. That's the skill they were working on. And they walked out of that meeting. First of all, they collaborated together and came together to be on the same page of what they wanted to accomplish in their classrooms. I walked in one of the classrooms 2 days later, and I watched a teacher that had proficiency skills for summarizing on the board. She had what it meant to be at a level 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4, and kids could visually see what it is they want to try to accomplish. Watch the kid raise his hand, and he said, hey, I want to move my ability to be able to summarize from a 3 to a 4. He clearly knew from the conversation they had on what that meant. And I watched, it's such a powerful concept when we get intentional with students and they understand how they can get where they want to go. And I walked out of the room and I thought, wow, had I known that many years ago, that's what I'd implement in my classroom, is clarity for students and having them be a part of the process. Another thing that we're doing to build capacity of staff is our weekly collaborative professional learning. Thank you, board, for the opportunity we have to have that time to develop and strengthen the capacity of our staff. We find those meetings to be meaningful and valuable as we lay out what effective instruction looks like and help build the capacity of our staff. We believe the key to success in this area is clarity of purpose that's paired with effective systems in place to help all rise up. The second area I want to talk about is all students are our students. 2 particular areas here. In our school, we have common behavior expectations, Haven Behavior and SOAR, safe, on task, accountable, and respectful. Each one of our areas, this is plastered throughout our building. It's taught, it's discussed, it's shared. No matter what role you play in our school, you have equal right and opportunity to be able to help students thrive and grow in these areas. Those common expectations have really helped us to lay a solid foundation as a new school. Academically, we're working hard on creating a guaranteed viable curriculum school-wide. We want students, the long-term vision and goal there is that as they move from kindergarten through 6th grade and even into 7th, that they have clarity as far as what are those essential standards that they need to know. And part of that work's come down to digging in really hard and deeply on what standards are essential, which ones are the boulders that we've got to make sure they're not leaving our grades and knowing how to do, and that's communicated school-wide. Our awesome curriculum departments helped with this process as they've got great resources for us to use. But we're digging in hard as a staff and looking at what areas we need to come into. One common place we looked at this year is in writing. We noticed as we did a deep dive into grade level content and had students, teachers rate what those standards are going to be, we found that some of our upper grades are feeling like they have a lot of essential standards, a lot of boulders in upper grades. As we dug in and started talking, and we come to consensus and realized if we could start younger and having them really be solid in some of those key concepts of writing, when they get to 5th and 6th grade, they can write a 5-paragraph essay without having an essential concept for 5th grade being basic sentence structure or complex sentence, those kinds of things that could be mastered much earlier. So our big goal with this is going to be an ongoing focus and attention to how we move throughout the grade levels and being really tight about that progress and growth. Part of this process, you can see we started with, this year we had a writing prompt. Every student we got that prompt, and that's what does it mean to be Haven Bay Heron. At our literacy night, we lined our building with writing. It was awesome. I walked out in that main hallway, and I just spilled so much light in that room and the building as we walked down, as we have 500 pieces of writing that every student in our school took time to write what it meant to be a Heron. And then that night we had a literacy evening with our families coming. So one of the awesome activities we had this year that's helped a product of the process we had gone through. Moving forward, the third area I want to talk to you about is data drives instruction student learning. These are just a few examples of how data is being used in our school. You can see on the colored post-it notes, those are for team rooms. Those are for teachers to look at. There are names attached to those notes. And the focal point, I think, is always got to stay there, names attached to those. And we've got to look at where are our students and how are we going to help them get to where they need to be. On the right there, you can see that's an example of a data binder in one of our grade levels. That's common in many of our grades as they're helping students dig in and look at it. 2 quick examples that I had recently in a kindergarten class in a 3rd grade. I was in a kindergarten classroom and I watched a 5-year-old walk out, and he was doing his reading with reading aid, and he was doing his progress monitoring. And I watched him come back in, And excitingly, he yelled to his teacher, "Hey, I got a PR today." And he was just so excited about his PR he had in his reading. And I thought about that for a minute, and I thought, shouldn't we be celebrating those PRs? We do it in other athletics and other areas. But man, to have a PR in our reading, whether it's, I've gone from 3 words to 7 words. We start there, and then we build and we grow. And I watched him thrive and grow. His teacher gave him a hug and was so excited about his PR that he talked about. And that goes to kudos to the teacher and having awareness that the students, it gets to the student level. They know where they are and where they need to get to. That's critical, and that's one of the essential things we're looking at. The other one, a 3rd grade class, they had just completed a review on math, and I watched the teacher had the percentages of the different categories they had looked at. And she had the students identify and determine what is an area we're strong in as a class first, and what's an area we need some work on. And she built her lesson around what the students felt like they needed. And so making the data readily available to students is a critical part of the process. Just a little data piece I want to share. And I want to share this because this is a starting point. This is our first, and I start with kindergarten because kindergarten's a starting point of our schooling experience. And this is this year, and just finished up our reading yesterday. I guess we got 1 student left, it looks like, that I think finished this afternoon. But I look at the exceptional growth of, we had 40% of students starting on blue in kindergarten, and there's 92% now. And the reason I mention kindergarten is because when we start there, if we can really truly align the standards we're doing, and we can go kindergarten through 6th, and we can be intentional about the work that we do, look how much we're successful when we're starting out. Now it's gonna increase in first, right? The middle of the year, they're gonna jump into reading passages. And so as we're attentive to, if these kids can have letters and sounds down, and we have that many kids that are starting with letters and sounds, imagine where we're gonna be able to go with reading next year when they get into 1st grade. And so as we're attentive and aware of that, we can see the areas that we can strengthen and grow. So kudos to those teachers and our support staff and aides that the work they put into that, because they've done a phenomenal job. Moving along, just a few other slides I've got here with some of the data. As you know, as we've mentioned, we're in our 2nd year. We have limited data at this point, but we're getting a good starting point for us. You can see our RISE data for last year. ELA was 49%, and right now it's not official, but our 25-26, all of our students have taken their test, and we're at 53, so we have some growth there. 4%, 3 or 4 when it gets settled out, I'm sure. Math, 61%, not finished yet this year, and science, 69. So that's a starting point for us last year. Good solid start for us, especially with the changes we had last year and getting started in our building and everything happening there. The Cadence reading last year, green and blue, 71%, and then moved to 83% in our reading, and in math, it was 56%, 81%. That's just a little bit of data for the board, and some behavioral data we have is a panorama. And I love looking at this because when we started fall of 24, our teachers did a fantastic job of establishing, and bringing in kids from all schools and really laying a foundation for trust and relationship. That's been a big part of it. 90% of our students 3rd through 6th felt like they had a positive relationship with their teachers starting out, and the trend stayed consistent. We're 89% this spring. And down there a little further, I want to talk about grit because that's an area we've talked a lot about. We want to use this data to be able to say, hey, how can we strengthen that? Every kid got a grit journal this year, and we've been working hard in our classrooms and our instructional on how we can stay in the struggle when it's difficult, because that is a skill that's hard for students at times. Our last piece I want to share is area number 4, a positive, supportive school culture for all. This is such an important piece for me. If we don't create the experience for students walking their building or families that's positive and welcoming, we're missing the mark. They've got to walk in and out of our building knowing their kids are supported and they're cared about. I watched the other day my office staff, they're amazing. I watched a grandparent come in who was had just gone through an adoption process with a grandkid, and I didn't know that had happened because they're firsthand talking to them, and I heard them saying, "Did it happen?" And just the pure joy and excitement for these grandparents, and they gave each other a hug and talked about it. And I watched it after they left. I say, it's final. They got their granddaughter, and just the excitement and the culture that was built in there with those families is amazing. And that's a tone we set from the get-go, from the office all the way down in our building. The last part is quick data. We want to, as a school, look at how we're collecting data on how are we doing with our community, and we always want to look at ways that we can improve the work that we're doing. In closing, I just want to thank you for the chance again today to speak a little bit with you. It's an honor to be at Haven Elementary. I love it. I have the most incredible staff you'll ever find, and the work that they're doing on a daily basis is incredible, and the impact they're making for kids, every single one of them. I'm so grateful for the work that they're doing, and our kids are going to thrive because of it. Thanks so much.
Thank you for your great leadership, Justin. Thank you so much. Board, we've had the opportunity to review the items on the consent calendar. I'm looking for a motion to approve. Approved by Jan, second by Wiley. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? The motion is approved with a unanimous vote. Board, it's legal requirement that we get regular updates in board meeting about the school counseling program in our district. We appreciate the great expertise and support our school counselors provide to our students. Please join us again, Jennifer Warren.
Thank you, Superintendent and Board. I feel like I've got a lot of celebrations tonight, so I appreciate it. As mentioned, each year we get the opportunity to present on our school counseling programs that are established in our school and share a little bit of data around our programs, as well as just some of the things that they're working on in our schools. Our school counselors, our school counseling programs are an integral part of our schools. They are part of that entire school community that is very invested in not only students' academic achievement, their college and career readiness, but also their social emotional well-being. We want to establish all of those critical skills that kids need to be successful as they venture on to the next pieces in their lives, careers, education. So I wanted to highlight some things around the Utah K-12 Comprehensive School Counseling Program. The document that I passed out was just an updated board rule. They've made some changes over the last couple of years to our Utah school counseling programs. And they've really been intentional and specific around how our school counselors should be spending their time. And it's broken out intentional based on the skills as well as the development of the children that they're working with and where are they at in their educational career and where are we working to get them toward. So we won't spend a lot of time around this, but the document outlines those activities that our counselors are doing within our schools. The vertical alignment is critical. I appreciate the opportunity in Weber School District for us to have elementary school counselors. Not every school district has elementary counselors. They make a decision to sometimes have school social workers, which is also a needed field. But we as a district have decided that elementary licensed school counselors and have that vertical alignment. Opportunities in elementary to build those basic foundational skills, curiosity about work and education, as well as those interpersonal skills that kids need to be successful. And then as they transition to junior high, they have the opportunity to do some self-assessments, more career exploration, really look at their personal interests and continue to look at those skills like communication, collaboration, that help them be productive, successful citizens as they get older. And then finally in high school, it is that culmination of the post-secondary planning. Counselors are really supporting and guiding students in not only refining their academic portfolios, but also some of those soft skills, leadership, adaptability, and it's that consistent thread over their educational career that by the time the student reaches graduation, they have that career identity, academic discipline, social intelligence that are deeply integrated in them, and we're helping prepare them for the workforce. So these are some of the amazing partnerships, collaborations, programs, activities, opportunities that our kids have. And I don't have enough time to go into all of these great opportunities, but we really would encourage you that if you have the opportunity to participate in some of these activities at our schools, kindergarten through 12th grade, these are some of the most enjoyable things that you can experience in a school environment. So it really is fun, but it's also learning that is occurring. So I wanted to share just a little bit about specifically our levels of our various school counseling programs. So our elementary school counseling program has really been focused on those tier 1 skills and competencies for students that are not only relevant to academic learning, but also life, career, citizenship, and that social emotional piece. In the school counseling program, it's referred to collaborative classroom instruction. So it's when our counselors are going into the classroom and teaching students skills. And I appreciated that Principal Skeen highlighted the panorama results, because we're going to talk about that in a minute. That is really where our counselors focus. So we also had an amazing opportunity this year to have full-time counselors in all of our elementary schools. That's something that was started several years ago that we've been working toward. Previously, we did have 5 elementary schools that only had a part-time counselor. And so it is such a huge benefit to have that upfront and really that prevention piece and building skills early. So we've seen amazing outcomes, and the thing that I appreciate about our panorama data is this is student voice. This is how do they feel about the skills that they're learning. And you can see that our elementaries compared to others nationally are all in the green. We're doing well, we're increasing skills, that self-management, grit, as Principal Skeen spoke about, sense of belonging. We heard that from many of our teachers tonight that we were able to recognize, really building these skills in our students at a very early age. In our secondary school counseling programs, I'd like to highlight first, we have 55 secondary school counselors supporting our 17 secondary schools. So that's quite a number of them. But they also are continuing to teach these skills that are necessary. We continue to build upon those. You can see that they have several areas in the green. There is one area, sense of belonging, that is not quite green yet, but we're on our way there. It's something that we as a district, as you know, have been really intentionally focused on, and sometimes it's a little more challenging with students as they get older, helping them stay connected to that school environment. But I want to give our secondary schools a huge shout out. So not only the instruction that our school counselors have been providing, but collectively that school environment, you can see in just 2 years of time, sense of belonging has increased by 5%. This is a huge celebration for our secondary schools. They're working hard at this. They want students in their building. They want to give them opportunities to learn and create those environments where students feel that they're welcomed and safe in coming to school. So a piece that I wanted to highlight, because this was something that was on the consent calendar, as I mentioned, the State Board of Education recently has made some revisions to board rule, and specifically around plans for college and career readiness. These are plans that are developed, individual plans, whether it's through small group activities or individual activities that are together, school counselor, parent, guardian, and the student. Really personalized opportunities to explore their interests, set some goals, make some decisions, and prepare for what's going to come beyond high school. And so, really being intentional about that process and utilizing the skills that they've built in elementary, continue that, and continue to build upon it year after year. So we begin in 7th grade, meeting with these students. So early awareness is very much around career possibilities. What strengths do they have? What interests? Setting goals, looking at some of those durable skills, giving them opportunities to experience different things. That's really important for our students all the way K through 12, because having those opportunities help you develop into who you eventually become as an adult. Enhancing those student engagement opportunities and increasing our post-secondary outcomes. It really is an educational journey, but we are focused, yes, on graduation, kind of that culminating event, but it is a journey and building skills and capacity in our students all along the way. So we as a district are working on building a cohesive PCCR system. So 7 through 12, we've had a group collaborating this year around what that needs to look like for Weber School District, so that parents know, students know, it starts in 7th grade, and this is what it's going to look like throughout my educational career. So these are mock-ups, these are pilots. We're not quite there yet. It's something that we're going to continue working on into next school year. But I thought just to give you an example of these are the things, the discussions, the activities that are occurring within our schools to help prepare students for beyond high school. So I do want to give some spotlights. So the target is absolutely 100% of students and 100% of parents participating in PCCRs. That doesn't always occur at that high of a rate. But we did in 3 of our junior highs have 100% of student attendance. That means they met with every student, whether in one grade they do small group and then in the 2 other grades they do individual meetings. At one of our high schools, Bonneville, we had 90% of student attendance. So that was our counselors tracking those kids down, letting them know. This doesn't mean that parents weren't in attendance. Parents were in attendance in many of these. With the high schools, sometimes the parents show up for the PCCR and the student forgets that they're a relevant party in the activity. And so really the counselors are very intentional about capturing that with each of their students each of the years. So we are pleased to announce, Weber School District, we've had a great partnership with U-Science. This is in conjunction with CTE as well, something that has been established in our schools where students are participating in various activities through U-Science to really help them develop what are their interests, what are their skills, and what are their goals. The state is made the decision to have a pilot with U-Science, for PCCRs. So our counselors will be able to utilize this as a tool as well for planning out career and academic pathways within the system. The benefit of U-Science, There's multiple benefits, but one of the benefits is it builds year after year, and it actually goes with the student beyond high school. So they can continue to access the system, look at their interests, explore colleges, universities, careers, and participate in the various surveys and activities that they have in there. So we're excited that we get to be a pilot district for this. What it means for us is some next steps around counselor training and what that's going to look like. A couple other next steps that we want to focus on. We want to provide some training to our school administrators around what are those components of a school counseling program. What does that day in, day out look like? What are some of the expectations that are designated by the state school board, but also good practices for our students? The U Science pilot will need to train our secondary counselors. We'll be doing that at the end of July, beginning of August. And then that continued strategic planning for alignment of the PCCR process from grade 7 through grade 12. So with that, thank you so much.
Thank you. Any comments, questions?
Yeah.
Thank you for the presentation. Appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
Board, it's time for public comment. Have we had anybody sign up? Is that good or bad? Okay. Looks like no one has signed up. We'll proceed to our next agenda item.
All right.
Rob Lake.
Yes, thank you. Superintendent Butters, board, Mr. Mitchell. I've been told I have 3 minutes, so I'm going to hustle. So school fees, I feel bad. Next year, we are going to make sure our second reading is not in May, because we've listened to all this great stuff, and now we have to talk about school fees. So just a few things that I wanted to touch on that have changed since our last meeting. So House Bill 142 was passed, which we had to include in there, which limits the number of trips that fee-waived students can participate in. And it caps them at a total amount of a number. I believe it's 4,000 in the high school, is that right? 4,000 that they can have fees waived, and that does not include lunches, okay? Yes, so that's House Bill 142. All right, next thing is the wording on the word change. This is what we talked about, Kelly. We changed to clarify between the school curricular clubs and the CTSOs, and so we've done that in the fee schedule. And then the last thing I think we'd like to propose and talk about quickly is a proposed increase for our out-of-state travel. And the reason we were doing this is in working with Rod and his groups, a lot of their groups, the CTSOs that qualify through state competitions to go to national competitions, that happens late, and it's a quick turnaround between finding out that they qualify for national competitions and having to book those things. And sometimes a lot of those national competitions decide where they have to stay, and so we don't get to have the best deals, or look for the best deals. And so we are getting close to that $1,800 limit for travel, and so we're just asking that we up it $200 to $2,000. And that is in line with a district to the south of us, and so we're asking that be considered as well on this reading.
Was that just for CTSOs, not for you? So UHSAA will stay separate.
Yes,
or different?
The first one will stay at 1,600. Yeah. Okay. And so with that being said, I think those are really the changes that we wanted, or things that we wanted to bring up with you tonight. And so, barring any public comment, we are, I guess the fees committee is requesting that the board accept this on a second reading for the 26-27 school year.
Thank you, Mr. Lake. Board, before we consider the formal approval of the proposed fee schedule for the 25-26 school year on a second reading, we need to move into a public hearing to hear public input on the proposed fee schedule. I need a motion to move into public meeting. Janice, a second. Jan, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is approved with a unanimous vote. The public is encouraged to participate in the development and review of school fee schedule. Each person desiring to participate will have up to 3 minutes to provide input regarding the proposed fee schedule. Has anyone signed up? Is that good or bad? Okay, if no one signs up, we can move back into regular meeting. So board, I need a motion to move back from the public hearing to the regular school board meeting. Janice, a second by Wiley. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is approved with the unanimous vote. We have now officially moved from public hearing back to our board business meeting. Mr. Lake, you're up again. Please cite your recommendation again, in case
Okay.
we've forgotten.
Yes, I want to thank Carrie Meyerhofer again for all of her great work. She dives into this stuff and does a great job on all the research. And so with that being said, the fee committee is requesting that the board accept the fee schedule for the 26-27 school year for a second reading.
Okay, board, you've heard the motion, or do we have a motion? Jan?
I make a motion that we accept the fee schedule as presented by Mr. Lake.
Is there a second? Kelly, any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Thank you. Motion passes with the unanimous vote.
Vice
Thank you
President
so
Hurst,
much.
I just want to say that I think the reason that we are so limited on our public comment is because they have done such a good and transparent job of presenting in Mr. Lake and Ms. Meyerhofer. There were parents on the committee. There's been a lot of discussion, so I really appreciate their thoroughness in working on these fee schedules.
Thank you. We'll end the meeting now with a few policy revisions. Heidi Alder. We saved the best for
Sorry, but
last.
I don't know if that's true at all. Board, I would like to just take 2 seconds and draw your attention to the really thick packet of the policies on consent. I'm not going to go through all of these. The board's already adopted the changes to all of these policies on consent. But just in the interest of transparency, to let you all know and the public know that the reason that we have so many policies on consent are twofold. One, we made a lot of effort to consolidate policies that are 1 or 2 sentences. And so where we put policies together, we repeal the other one. We also have gone through all of the legislative changes, and any policy that requires updates pursuant to a legislative change that is mandated by the legislature, we don't really have a lot of discretion to make any procedural or policy decisions. We put that wording right into the policy and put it to you on consent. You'll see in the board memo all of the policies that were amended or revised pursuant to statutory changes, and those that were repealed because we consolidated those or they were so old or we're not implementing those policies anymore. So I just wanted to let you all know why we have so many policies on consent and just give you an opportunity to ask any questions if you have any questions about the policies you just adopted on consent.
Okay.
Okay. Then we'll go into the policies that are being presented to the board either on a first or second read. Policy 3300 is our purchasing policy, and this is one that we are consolidating with 3 or 4 other policies. We've been working with the finance department to put together a comprehensive purchasing policy. It reflects some statutory updates, updates to procurement thresholds, and like I said, some consolidation of some other policies. Not a lot of substantive additions to this policy, and it is on a first read. I will tell you there are still some things that we're working through to make sure it is current and it is in line with the most updated law. So there may be some changes next month, but we would present to you, the policy committee presents policy 3300 on a first read.
Thank you. I look for a motion, board, to approve revised policy 3300, purchasing on a first reading. By Wiley, do I have a second? Jan, any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. It passes unanimously.
Policy 5200 is our discipline policy, and Student Services Director Jen Warren and our Policy and Compliance Director Heather Hardy have been working tirelessly for the past several months to update this policy. There are a lot of statutory changes that have been made. There are a lot of practices we've been engaging in that haven't been in our policy. And there were some organizational issues with the way that our policy had read in the past. So a lot of the changes in this policy were really to clean up some of the organization, just move things around so it read more cleanly, and also to incorporate a lot of the statutory changes. There is a lot of pink, which is new language, but it's not necessarily new. It's just reorganization of current language. There are a couple of new definitions. The board may know that we have been talking about what it means to expel a student, for example. Does that mean remove that student from the educational environment entirely and provide no educational services, or continue to provide educational services? And the State Board of Education recently adopted a definition of expulsion that does mean to remove them from educational services altogether, and we adopted that definition. That's just one example of the kind of changes that are in this policy. This is also just on our first read. I present Policy 5200, Student Discipline, and its revisions on a first read for the board's acceptance.
Thank you.
Just
any questions?
In clarification on the expulsion, that has been our practice for quite some time, right? To remove them from all educational services if they are expelled.
Unless the student is a student with disabilities, in which case we would continue to provide their special education services.
Thank you.
Board, I need a motion to approve revised policy 5200, student discipline, on a first reading. Jan, do I have a second? Wiley, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It's a unanimous vote in the affirmative. Thank you. And our last policy revision of the night.
The last policy is our student electronic policy. This policy is being presented to the board on a first read due to some statutory changes, but in addition to the statutory language, which does add AI glasses as technology that we need to govern within the school day, we also are including some language from the statute that a parent may request an accommodation for a student to briefly use a device at a designated location in the school during non-instructional time. And then we also made some adjustments to the definition. We had to add the definition of emerging technology. This is one that we did not change substantively from what the language of the bill is, but because it was so, this is a policy people pay a lot of attention to, we wanted to present it in public meeting as opposed to just putting it on the consent calendar. So there's nothing in here that the policy committee did outside of and different from what the law requires us to do. We just wanted to present it in this public meeting so that the public could provide comment if they wanted to and if they had comment.
Board, any comments, or are you busy with your phones? Just kidding. Sorry.
Almost 8. We're going to get done by 8.
I would entertain a motion to approve revised policy 8350, student electronic devices, on a first reading. Janice, second by Jan. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Any opposed? The motion is approved with the unanimous vote.
Thank you.
Heidi, thank you. And the members of the policy committee, for your diligence and hard work, thank you for all you do. That concludes our board meeting tonight. Board, I would welcome a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Wiley, a second? Is it Jan? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Unanimous. Thank you. Thank you, board. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all.